All right, let's talk about real-time data on AWS. We're going to break it all down by following the amazing, super fast journey of something really simple, a single click. Let's get into it. You know that feeling, right? You open up a social media app, and boom, it's telling you what's blowing up at this very second. Or maybe you're on a sports app, and the scores are updating faster than you can blink. How in the world do they do that? How can they possibly keep track of what millions of people are doing all at once? Well, the secret is something called streaming data. I want you to picture this massive, nonstop river. And in this river, every single drop of water is a tiny piece of information. A click, a like, a sensor reading, you name it. Today, we're going to follow just one of those drops, from the second it's born all the way to where it ends up. So where does this whole trip start? It begins right at the source, in what a lot of people call the data deluge. And that's exactly what it is, this just overwhelming flood of information that our apps are spitting out every single millisecond. This idea of a data stream is so important. We're not talking about something like downloading a big file. No, this is a totally different way of thinking. It's a continuous, endless flow of tiny little bits of data, all coming in from thousands, even millions of sources at the same time. Your phone, your watch, maybe even your car. So let's trace it. It all starts with you. You tap a button in an app. Instantly, boom, that event gets captured. But it doesn't just go sit in some old database. It's immediately put onto a transport system, the stream, and it's whisked away to be analyzed, all in just a fraction of a second. Now, to handle this kind of constant, high-speed traffic, you can't just use a regular old road. You'd have a traffic jam in, like, 2 seconds. Nope, you need a data superhighway. And in the AWS world, that superhighway is called Amazon Kinesis. And this superhighway, it has some rules of the road to keep things from turning into total chaos. First up is ordering. This just means your clicks are processed in the exact sequence they happened. Super important. Second, it can scale like crazy. It's like the highway can magically add more lanes the second rush hour hits. And third, it has a memory, which we call retention. The data is stored for a bit, so if anything goes wrong, you can just hit replay and reprocess it. But, just like with real highways, not every trip needs the same kind of road, right? And AWS gives you a few different tools so you can pick the absolute perfect path for your data to travel down. So your two main choices here are Kinesis Data Streams and Kinesis Data Firehose. Think of data streams as being like a kit to build your own custom race car. You get total flexibility, complete control over everything, which is awesome for really complex, custom-built apps. Kinesis Data Firehose, though, that's more like a fully automated delivery truck. It is just dead simple. You basically just tell it where to pick the data up and where to drop it off. That's it. And then there's the pro option. For teams that need the absolute raw power of the super popular open source tool Apache Kafka, AWS has something called Amazon MSK. Now, this is like being handed the keys to an entire engine factory. It's unbelievably powerful, but it kind of assumes you already know how to build the rest of the car yourself. Okay, so our little click has been captured. It's traveled down the data superhighway, but a journey without a destination is pretty pointless, right? So where is all this data actually going? We're finally at the most important part of the trip, turning that raw data into actual, valuable insight. Typically, that stream of data is heading for one of 3 main destinations on AWS, and you'll see that each one has a very different job when it comes to making that data useful. First up, we've got Amazon S3. This acts as a massive data lake, and I want you to think of it like a giant, clean reservoir where you can just pour every single drop of data in its raw, unfiltered form. It's super cheap and incredibly durable, which makes it the perfect place to just store everything for later. Next up is Amazon Redshift, the data warehouse. So if S3 is the giant lake, Redshift is the super sophisticated water treatment and bottling plant. It's built to take in massive amounts of data and let analysts run really complex queries to find business trends and those deep hidden insights. And finally, there's Amazon OpenSearch, which brings us right back to our very first question. This is the engine that powers those live, real-time dashboards. Its whole job is to search and visualize data the very moment it arrives. This is exactly how your app knows what's trending right now. Okay, now this is where it all comes together. The really smart data platforms today, they don't make you choose between getting real-time insights and doing that deep historical analysis. No, they cleverly combine the best of both worlds. This right here,
This is the key takeaway. You have to get this. It's not about choosing streaming or the old school batch processing anymore. The future, where everything is headed, is about using streaming and batch together.
And here's why that is so incredibly powerful. The real-time stream tells you what's happening this very second. Let's say a certain product is suddenly selling like crazy. That's your immediate insight. But all that historical data you saved in your data lake, that gives you the context. It tells you, oh, that always happens when this specific influencer posts about it. See? One without the other, and you've only got half the story.
So there you have it. We followed a single click from the moment it was created all the way down a data superhighway to a destination where it became a real-time insight. This tech gives us this incredible, up-to-the-second view of what's happening right now. But it leaves us with one last, really exciting question. Now that we can so perfectly analyze the present, what will we be able to predict about the future?